Mr. White invites you to color your world with Brilliant White by Jet.
Sri Lanka will take on West Indies in the second ODI of their three-match series in the Caribbean on Friday, the 12th of March. After having dominated the Windies in one-day internationals of late, Sri Lanka slumped to a heavy 8-wicket loss against the hosts in the first ODI, their first loss to the men in maroon in the last 6 encounters between the sides. Karunaratne and Danushka gave the visitors the perfect start with the bat, putting on 105 runs in just under 20 overs before Sri Lanka fell into a familiar slump in the middle overs. The visitors were without a few of their regulars in the batting lineup, and it certainly showed as Pathum Nissanka, Dinesh Chandimal, Angelo Matthews and Kamindu Mendy struggled to get going on what proved to be a flat track at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in Antigua. Mickey Arthur and co will need to address the running between the wickets in particular, as the 2 run-outs of Matthews and Nissanka and the dismissal of Gunatilaka were what turned the game completely in the hosts' favour. Ashane Bandara was one of the rare positives for Sri Lanka, as the youngster batted with maturity on debut, playing the sweep in particular very effectively. Matthews and Chandimal were disappointing yet again, as they failed to capitalise on the brilliant start provided by Gunatilaka and Karunaratne. Mendes will have his work cut out if he wants to retain his spot at number 7 in the batting order, and will need to step up with the bat in the second game or risk being left out in favour of Dasun Shanaka in the final ODI. The middle order is the area Sri Lanka will be worried about, and one would think they would be tempted to perhaps make some changes to the lineup. Surely, Oshada Fernando and Niroshan Dickwella will be eyeing up spots in the team. It is also worth noting that since this is one of the rare occasions where Sri Lanka have only 2 wicket-keepers in their ranks, either Chandimal or Dickwella will have to feature in the playing 11. On the bowling front, none of the bowlers troubled the Windies batsmen too much, except perhaps Dushmantha Chameera, who bowled 2 absolute peaches to dismiss Shai Hope and Evin Lewis. Wanindu Hasaranga was as tidy as ever, conceding just 26 of his full quota of overs, but with just 232 to defend, it was always going to be an uphill battle for the visitors. Despite the loss, it is difficult to see Sri Lanka making any changes to the playing 11 just yet, when considering the combinations they need on the field.
Mr. White invites you to color your world with Brilliant White by Jet.
For the hosts, it was Shai Hope who delivered with the bat once again. The right-hander now has 425 runs at an average of 60 plus against Sri Lanka, including 200s and 250s, all made in the last 4 encounters between West Indies and Sri Lanka. Evin Lewis, who is usually a basher, played a fantastic support role to Hope, an ominous sign for Sri Lanka considering the batting lineup the Windies have at their disposal. Ultimately, it was that man Kieran Pollard who really turned the game in West Indies' favour, dismissing Karunaratne and then forcing the dismissal of Gunatilaka. Pollard was ruthless in his execution and made up for the lack of venom from his opening bowlers. Although it was a comprehensive win for the men in maroon, they would look to push for more wickets in the first power play, an area where they have struggled in the recent past. Though Alzari Joseph and Jason Holder bowled well to the Sri Lankan openers, they never really dominated them at any stage, allowing them to build a big partnership. With a win under their belt, the Windies too will likely go into the second ODI unchanged. Sri Lanka probable 11: Dimuth Karunaratne, Danushka Gunatilaka, Pathum Nissanka, Dinesh Chandimal, Angelo Matthews, Ashane Bandara, Kamindu Mendes, Wanindu Hasaranga, Dushmantha Chameera, Lakshan Sandakan, Nuwan Pradeep. West Indies probable 11: Evin Lewis, Shai Hope, Darren Bravo, Jason Mohammed, Nicholas Pooran, Kieran Pollard, Jason Holder, Fabian Allen, Romario Shepherd, Alzari Joseph, Akhil Hossain.
Mr. White invites you to color your world with Brilliant White by Jet.
For premium premium content and exclusive member benefits. Subscribe to thepapare.com today.